So, hi, I was just thinking about something that bothers me. I was just rolling it over my head, and it's something that I think that is the reason why a lot of people are kind of against MBTI, because people get confused by, like, what it means. Because I've talked to people, and they'll be like, I don't want something to put me in a box. I hear that so much. It bothers me so much. It's just like people are against the personality test because it puts you in a box and you're forced to act a certain way because it says that you are. And because they think you're forcing you to act a certain way, they disagree with it because they know they're their own person. People misunderstand MBTI and say that it's saying that people aren't unique. People are unique. Just because they can be categorized into 16 different things doesn't mean they aren't unique. It's like saying animals aren't each individually unique from each other because they can be classified into fish and mammals and bacteria and wait. I'd have to look up if bacteria is alive. Yes, bacteria is alive. It's viruses that aren't. Yeah. Let me double check that so I don't look like an idiot. Although I look like an idiot because I'm having to double check it. Life. Are viruses straddle the definition of life. Bacteria, I'm fairly certain, is alive. Yes, bacteria life forms. So, anyhow, so yeah, but that's not exactly the thing that irritates me. But the thing that I'm talking about is when people create personalities instead of shoot, my battery's out. Okay, so what was I saying? So when they create personalities instead of studying personalities that exist. So people can get really boxed in on the types. So, for example, so on Facebook a really while back, I was talking about how much I love nature. And just explaining how I felt about nature and how great it was. And, so I know for a fact, I've made a video about the cognitive functions. I've said it for a while. Granted, when I first started doing MBTI, I thought I was ENFP because I was going through a difficult time when I first started getting into it, and I also refused to take tests. And after I had passed my difficult time, I was like, my gosh, I'm definitely not an F. And now that I've studied cognitive functions, I'm like, there's no way I'm an ENFP. It's like impossible. But, so people will see me demonstrating an F-like quality. Let's see. Studying nature and attributing feelings to it would be extroverted sensing. Although the way it would be extroverted sensing. Extroverted sensing and FI, I guess. However, I can't see an ESFP doing it. It's kind of an ENFP thing. ENFPs would have FI and any. I feel like anyhow. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. So anyhow, I'm demonstrating an F-like quality okay, and I'm talking about how much I love nature because I do. And someone's like, "You're such an F." And they could have been joking, they could have been serious, but I've had people who seriously will tell me, like, you can't be this then. Because I display an attribute of an F. We get so boxed into the 16 personalities that if someone starts using their FE like for some reason they're using their FE, people say you can't be a T because I'm seeing your F-like qualities. We all have F in us. We either have FE or FI. In fact, we have both. However, we use one more dominantly than the other. And some people, you barely ever see that one of their F functions. So that's like the irritating thing, because you're creating personalities in that case. MBTI should be used to study what's already there. You can't rewrite what's already there. So you can't take, say, you're watching a person and you see they demonstrate an N-like quality, but they say that they're ESTP, which has a really low N, and you say they must be an N because they're using their N function, and it's creating personalities. And it's why people get so frustrated, like, so up in arms about stereotyping or whatnot, or being boxed in by your personality, because some people do that. It's like MBTI actually goes really shallow into the personalities. Like, I'm actually, for a little while, I was kind of like getting out of MBTI just because of that reason. Like, at a certain point, I need something to go deeper. I need scientists to figure out more personality stuff so I can learn more. Because I reached the point where MBTI just doesn't go deep enough, which is why I'm so into, right now, I'm really into like studying the cognitive functions and stuff. It's because the cognitive functions go a lot deeper than MBTI. Yeah, so we're studying what's already there. It's another thing to argue against when people say you box yourself in. You're not boxing yourself in. You're categorizing things. That's all you're doing. You're just, yeah. So it's like I said, it's like saying you're boxing things in when you say that you're boxing an animal in when you told him he's a mammal. In fact, a lot of the traits that I have is that they say ENTPs have. I have the majority of the traits. There's like one or two where I'm a bit different. I do show tendencies to having more feelings towards like nature, like I was talking about before. I get really into that. Nature is one of my favorite things. But just because I feel emotions doesn't make me an F. So just because this ESTP has philosophical thoughts, which they do in fact have reasoning thoughts. ESTPs aren't dumb as rocks. They're very intelligent. Another annoying stereotype. So just because they have those thoughts, that doesn't make them an ENTP all of a sudden. Everyone shows examples of different types. So that's just one of the irritations to me about MBTI, is like, I like MBTI. I just get frustrated with some of the people who use it, because you're not creating personalities. You can't tell someone that they're not something because you see one trait of them. You can't say that all ENTPs do this, all ENTPs don't do this. That kind of thing. That's my little rant for the day. Yeah. I could pretty much go on about with that, saying the same information over and over again and just go in a loop. So yeah, just be careful with MBTI. And be careful with stereotypes, because I guess, yeah, just remember that we weren't born and our brains were like, this person's ENTP. We were born and our brains were like, this person has this mesh of a personality, and we've categorized the personalities. But you can go so much deeper. And we're just barely touching the surface of personalities, and I can't wait for scientists to hurry it up and learn more. And I feel the same way about dreams. Scientists don't know enough about dreams nearly as much as I want to. Really, a lot of the areas of the brain, which is kind of unfortunate, because that's the one area I'm interested in. So I like studying stuff about the brain, psychology. One of the more baby science areas. So So yeah, thanks for listening for that little rant, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.